The Calgary Flames had an extremely hot start to the season, but things have slowed down significantly lately. After the team dropped yet another home game that they just as easily could have won, the team is now facing a major concern that is causing them to lose games. Plus, if the Flames can fix another area, they could be a much better team. We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. But this is a little bit concerning, so let's talk about this significant concern. So once again, last night, in case you missed it, the Flames were at home to the Winnipeg Jets, the best team in the NHL, undefeated going into the game, and well, they were undefeated to finish the game as well. The Jets ended up winning this one 5-3, and it's a tough loss. It's a hard pill to swallow for the Flames, knowing that they really could have won this game, and it really hurts that they ended up losing it, got into some penalty trouble towards the end of the game. But if we take a quick look at the box score, Dustin Wolf honestly played really, really well. The stats won't show it quite as well. You know, the 4 goals against is obviously a lot, only an .882 save percentage. He did face 34 shots, but again, those stats look worse than how he actually played. The Flames were trying to kill off a 5-on-3 towards the end of this game, and Dustin Wolf stood on his head and was incredible. And the Flames did kill the 2-man disadvantage, but obviously we know how things did end up. If we take a quick look at the players who got on the score sheet, Rasmus Andersson once again with a goal and another stare down. That clearly is going to continue, which is so awesome to see. He once again played very well. We saw Michael Backlund get a goal pretty much right away on the first shift of the game. So reminiscent of that Johnny Hockey Game 7 overtime winner against the Dallas Stars, the hard angle short side. Nazem Kadri got the goal in the third period to tie the game. He also had 12 penalty minutes, which we will get into in a second here. Kuzmenko played well, got a couple assists, and then we got Kevin Ball and Connor rounding out the men who sauced out the apples. So great to see those guys on the score sheet. Certain players didn't have great games, but we need to talk about this significant concern. And honestly, it revolves around these two guys mostly. And the significant concern here is that the Flames have a bit of a lack of discipline and take penalties at awful times, especially when it's super, super unnecessary. I know guys play with passion, especially these two here, Martin Pospisil and Nazem Kadri. Pospisil, I don't think was a huge victim of it in this game, but we have seen in the past that he takes some really unnecessary penalties, and if the Flames penalty kill can't get it done, then it really does hurt the team. And it's starting to become a growing concern, and it's becoming more and more significant. Now, in last night's game, of course, we saw that from the perspective of Nazem Kadri, who tied the game, made it 3-3. The Flames kill off this 5-on-3, and then what happens? He takes such a stupid, unnecessary penalty. And I know right away, a lot of people are going to say it shouldn't have even been a penalty. And whether you think it should have been or shouldn't have been, well, it ended up being one, and it ended up costing the Flames a goal and ultimately the game. And it's great to play with passion. It's great to play with aggression. It's great to play with that fire, especially on a team called the Flames. But it needs to be a little more controlled. It really is becoming more and more of a significant concern. So if you get into this article here from Wes Gilbertson of the Calgary Herald, he writes these after every single Flames game. So he wrote 3 takeaways as Flames lose to Jets after controversial call. And maybe it was a controversial call, but he kind of piggybacks off what I was saying. Well, technically he wrote it first, but essentially the same idea is going on here. So Flames center Nazem Kadri was seething as he left the penalty box, giving Cody Beach an earful for a slashing call that he didn't believe was justified, especially in the late stages of a tied tilt. Beach figured that Kadri deserved to sit 2 minutes for a chop to Neil Pionk's hands as he carried the puck around his own net. The Flames weren't even in their defensive zone, and this was such a stupid penalty. No matter whether you think it was warranted or not, it was just so dumb. We had a great game on our hands, said Kadri, who was tossed with a 10-minute misconduct as he continued to voice his frustrations after Mason Appleton's empty netter. It's a very unfortunate. That's what it had to come down to. I feel like you've got to have some feel for the game, and especially when they're coming off a 5-on-3, to have that one called is upsetting. And it honestly was very upsetting. I'm sure Kadri feels worse about it than any Flames fan does. But this is the main quote here from Kadri. I think both teams were playing great. It was tremendous hockey out there. It was just a tremendous battle, and someone had a little too much decision on the game. So ultimately, Kadri believes this one came down to the reffing. They had a little too much control over this one and ultimately did decide this game. Now, Sure, that's true. The reffing, maybe was a little bit suspect, was a little bit controversial. But again, there's this growing significant concern of just playing with a little bit more discipline. There's no need to even go after a player's hands behind the net with your stick. So whether it's called a slash or not, what's the point? I know you're trying to take the lead, but come on, that's just not the place to take a penalty. It is a little bit concerning, and hopefully Huska and, the rest of the coaching staff can get down to it and really just enforce a little bit more discipline, maybe make players a little bit more accountable when they're playing with maybe a little bit too much aggression and it ends up costing the team. Now, am I saying that that's the whole reason the Flames lost? No, of course not. It just ultimately ended up being, the final reason why they did. There's so many other things that could have gone right that didn't. But still, I would like to see a little bit more tamed play from certain players on this team. And, it just, I think, would help the Flames out quite a bit. Now, if we talk about another concern here from the game, if we go back to the article from Wes Gilbertson of the Calgary Herald once again, he wrote this, which I think is very good. So the power play lacks pop. And it is very true. It's another reason, you could say. So go ahead and blame the officials. We certainly understand the frustration, but be sure to point a finger at the Flames power play too. It was supposed to be fixed once we lost Mark Savard, but I don't know. The Jets were 2 for 4 on their man advantage opportunities, with Ehlers getting lucky on a first period pass attempt that banked off Andersson's skate. Not to mention the Jets also had a very lucky goal to start the third period, went off the back glass off Wolf's back, and again, not really Wolf's fault, but whatever. But anyway, and Perfetti burying the blocker side shot with 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go, which ended up being the game winner, of course, on the power play. The hosts were 0 for 4 when they were up a man. Worst yet, they allowed a shorty. So not only did the Flames not capitalize on their power play opportunities, they actually gave up a shorthanded goal. The special teams is another concern that really is starting to, I think, aggravate a lot of fans. You're not going to beat the NHL's top troop when you finish -3 in the special teams tug of war. After a strong start, the Flames have gone 3 consecutive games without cashing on the power play. After Saturday's setback, head coach Ryan Huska noted that the return of Yegor Sharangovich likely created a bit of disconnect on the top unit. Interesting, is he blaming Sharky for the lack of success on the PP? It's nonetheless great news for the Flames that Sharky is now back in the lineup after missing the first 7 games due to a lower body injury. I honestly didn't expect Sharky to go yesterday. There wasn't really any announcement that he'd be ready to go until pretty much right before the game, which I thought was very, very interesting. Great to have him back. It'll be interesting to see what happens once Hanzik is healthy as well, which should be sooner rather than later. But either way, very big concerns here if the Flames want to win games instead of lose is maybe a bit more discipline and really got to figure out the special teams, especially the power play. And then the Flames will be all that much better. Now let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day, as we love to do. And this comment honestly inspired this video. And I have to give a huge shout out to Mr. ZMALQP555 for this comment here. Again, honestly was the inspiration for this entire video. But he said, I'm worried about Andersson and his temper. Now, I didn't bring up Andersson because I wanted to save it till now, but it is a little bit true. It seems to be detrimental when penalties are costly. Pospisil has the same issue. Both have great skills, but is it really a problem if tempers get out of control? And it is a big problem if tempers do get out of control. And it's true. Andersson is definitely playing with that fire. Now, the good thing for him is, as of now, it is leading to success. He's getting those goals. He's doing the stare downs, which might, PO a lot of opponents. And it could lead to maybe good things, us drawing penalties, but sometimes you get that temper out and it leads to penalties, and clearly that is not what the Flames need right now. But thank you so much for commenting that. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.